2 years in a row, same fate.
Yeah.
Where do you guys have to get better?
Good question. Right now, we're just trying to figure out how to beat the Bombers. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, they are the upper echelon football team in the Canadian Football League. We are trying to be them, and as we unfortunately saw on Saturday, we're not there yet. But I think we're close. I think we got a lot of good pieces. I think we have a really good group of players that play well together and like to compete and feel that they can compete against them. I'm not sure if we had that mentality last year, but I felt this year, and again, I know it's a loss, and it's, loss is a loss, but I felt that we took another step in order to compete with the big dogs, which is right now the Double B.
Neil, if you're being honest with yourself as well as your fans, you need to be better where?
Well, right now we need to be better everywhere, right? We those guys are relentless. Those guys bring it. If you make a single error, they will capitalize. So we want to be like that, and I feel we are like that at some point, right? I felt that you guys all said that we're going to have a bad game against Calgary, and we did. And then all of a sudden in the semifinal, we played really well, and we played like we know we can play. So we have the ability to play really tough football, and we're just going to have to keep on building and getting some pieces in here to beat the Bombers, which is the goal.
How much do you think you need to improve your offensive line, and are you going to look at your running game differently than how you've looked at it in the past?
Yeah, we're going to have to sit back and look at all those things. I mean, obviously we want to, if you look at them, they run the ball really, really well, but at the end of the day, we have a top-notch receiving core that, puts a lot of pressure on teams. So we're just going to have to figure out how to take that next step, which I know our group can do.
What happened to that top-notch receiving core in the playoff? It looked like there wasn't necessarily. After Keon got hurt, obviously that's a big piece, but it didn't look like there was necessarily a ton of separation.
You just answered. I think when Keon got hurt, it put a he is slowly turned into our guy. Right, whether people know that or don't want it, I mean that he is the guy on our football team. He's the dominant receiver, and I think when he went down, I think they all saw that his big brother or their big brother was down, and I still felt that we competed. I still felt the defense played really well in the second half. The offense just they're a good football team that we have to figure out how to take that next step.
Losing both Keon and TJ, and I know you guys haven't got a final diagnosis yet, but.
Yeah.
Usually these things turn into Achilles tears turn into surgeries in 9 months, sometimes 12 months. Like, how does that alter your off season and potentially not have those two guys for the majority of that season?
Yeah, we're gonna have to sit down and figure that out. I don't know yet how it does alter it. Obviously, it's going to alter it a little bit because it just is. But we're going to have to sit back and figure out how to put the best team on the football field, which hopefully they're a part of it.
I know that Matthew talked about consistency. That there were times when this group, especially defensively, was incredible, and then there were times where you weren't sure what was going on. And how do you recruit consistent players? Like, you know how to recruit good players, but the consistency is different.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah, it's the recruiting process has changed dramatically. You need guys with a lot of heart to play defense. You need top-notch players, and I think we have most of those guys. We just have to, like you said, play more consistent. Which they know that too, and. You saw spurts of us being dominant this year, really, on defense. We shut out teams to 0, which is really tough in the Canadian Football League. But at the end of the day, we just have to, regroup and step up and be able to beat the big boys.
Right. Talk a lot about continuity.
Yep.
There's some players on the team that took big strides this year. I think like Josh Woods, Matthew Betts. How tough is it going to be to keep the gang together to maintain that continuity?
Well, I would like to keep as many guys as I can. I mean, I still think this is a solid team with a good core of players. But in today's world of free agency, there's going to be change. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I mean, but I'm going to try to keep as many guys as I can. I think we have a good foundation of players under contract. We just have to deal with our free agents and then, figure out what we have to do to bring better guys in.
Do you think this team looks different next year? Vastly different?
No, I hope not vastly. I hope not. I think the team's going to look different. It just is. I mean, that's just the the unfortunate reality of professional sports and free agency. I like this team though. I mean, a year ago we didn't know if we had a quarterback. We didn't know what our quarterback was going to do, and we were able to bring Vernon in, and Vernon was able to lead us to another Western Final championship without, unfortunately losing again to Winnipeg. But if you look at Winnipeg, they haven't made any changes. So we need to strive to be that, and I think we're going to be able to bring as many guys back as we want and, field a competitive team again.
What did you learn about your football team this season, and then what are the questions that you still are going to have to ask yourself as a management team heading into the offseason?
Yeah, I learned this year that, again, we lost the most important position on the field to the National Football League, and we were able to compete at a high level and win 13 football games this year. So, I like the resiliency of our team. I like the fact that we have a really tough core. I like the fact that our receivers are good. I like the fact that we were able to plug and play some players and, not miss a beat. So, yeah, there will be change. It just is going to be change, but I'm hoping to bring back as many guys as I can to, maintain the continuity that we've already had.
What's the most daunting task as far as your own free agent list? Like, in terms of volume or position group or,
Yeah, I mean, there's guys on there like Matthew Betts. There's guys on there that, Sione that we're going to have to talk to and get under contract as soon as we can. I mean, it is early. We just lost 2 days ago. So, I mean, we got to sit back and, take a breath. And, and I'm telling our guys that now. Let's not make any rash decisions. Let's sit back, take a breath, enjoy the Grey Cup, and then start working and getting this team back.
Hey, Neil, how do you guys, it's a bit of a weird question, but how do you get out of your own way that, yes, this football team has made improvements. Yes, you've gotten to the Western Final 2 years in a row. So you're pleased about that.
Yeah.
You're feeling good about yourself, but then you still haven't been able to get the job done. How do you look at all that and say, okay, we're good, but we're not where we want to be? Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, and again, you have to look at building to beat Winnipeg. I mean, that's the reality. I mean, they are a good football team, and they showed us that on Saturday, that they know what they are, and they are going to beat you with what they have. And
Let me interrupt you then. So they know what they are.
Yeah.
Do you really know what you are?
Well, I think we do. We just, like I said, we lost our top receiver. We lost our leading defensive player, and we're still able to. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, did we have a great half last week? No, we could have been down by 50 in the first quarter. We were down by 8 at halftime, and we just have to continue building and moving forward with this young group.
So, losing Keon obviously affected you mentally. You look at Winnipeg, and they lost Dalton Schoen. Now, they knew they had lost him for the better part of a month, right? But they were able to kind of find ways to adjust and adapt. I mean, should this team have been mentally more resilient in that moment?
I think that comes with just the continuity and being the young team that we are. I mean, we are young, and I think that's coming. The mental side of it is slowly getting there. The physical side, the play side, I think is there. We just have to get that mental state that where if you do lose a guy, it's no big deal. But they didn't lose Kenny Lawler. They lost, right? So Kenny stepped up and made the plays.
How much pressure is there on you, given the fact the Grey Cup is here?
I mean, yeah, sure, that's pressure. But there's pressure every day to come. Professional football's pressure, regardless where the Grey Cup's here in San Diego or wherever. I mean, it's pressure. It's a high pressure business, and we'll that's why we get into it.
Will you please move it to San Diego?
No, I'm just being. It doesn't matter where the Grey Cup is. You still have to produce and start winning football games, which starts again in May.
You've been doing some of your exit interviews.
Yeah.
What kind of has been like the sort of overriding theme or response to it?
Positive, yeah. I mean, again, losing in the Western Final is it's not great. It sucks. But last year we lost and we felt that we can get back. This year the stings a little more because we felt we have a really good. We feel we have a good football team. They know we have a good football team, but losing to them again just puts, we're back to where we are, right? That's what you are. I mean, so they know it. The guys know it. They want another opportunity to come back and beat and compete with them because they feel that they can.